Hello there, welcome back to the channel, Loving Life on Less. The kitchen is often called the heart of the home, and let's be honest, it can also be the heart of many of our bills. From energy guzzling ovens to forgotten leftovers at the back of the fridge, this one room can swallow up hundreds of pounds a year. Most of us already know the basics. Buy budget brands, plan your meals, use up leftovers. But today we're going away from the obvious. We're starting with some unusual, slightly quirky tricks that can make a big difference. Little changes that save money, cut down waste, and will help you utilise all your resources to the max. So pop the kettle on, but only fill it with as much water as you need, and let's get stuck in. Unusual appliance tricks. Let's kick off with the fridge and freezer. They're on 24/7, quietly running in the background and running up your electricity bill. Keep your fridge about 2/3 full. Not too empty, not too packed. When there's a decent amount of food in there, the cold items help maintain the temperature so the motor won't have to work as hard. If your fridge is looking bare, say the day before you're going to get your grocery shopping, fill a couple of bottles with cold tap water and pop them in your fridge. They'll act like cold blocks and help the fridge stay more efficient. And of course you've got bottles of chilled water for later. With freezers, it's the opposite problem. They actually run more cheaply when they're packed. If you've not got much food in there, fill the gaps with ice cubes or even scrunched newspaper. That way, when you open the door, less warm air will rush in also. And here's a real easy thing. Don't hang around with your fridge door or freezer doors open while you're deciding what you fancy. Even 30 seconds can warm up the inside and make your appliance require more energy to get back down to temperature. Are you remembering to cook with residual heat? If you're cooking on the hob or the stove, turn your pan off 2 to 3 minutes before you actually intended to. Leave the lid on. The food will carry on cooking for free. And when it comes to cooking pasta for 12 to 15 minutes, if you've soaked your dehydrated pasta in cold water for 2 or 3 hours before, give it a little stir with a wooden spoon, the pasta will have partially rehydrated, taking your cooking time down from 12 minutes to about 5. And the gadgets you have in the kitchen can save pounds. The slow cooker, or as it's called in other countries, the crock pot, is the absolute hero of the frugal kitchen. It uses less energy than a light bulb and makes the cheapest cuts of meat melt in the mouth delicious. You can chuck in your ingredients in the morning and you come home to a hot dinner for pennies. You can even cook cakes and rice puddings in the slow cooker. Then there's the pressure cooker. Quite an old-fashioned gadget, but some frugal people swear by it. It cooks stews, pulses and tough cuts of meat in a fraction of time. The microwave is often an underrated gem. Not just for reheating leftovers, it's the cheapest way to steam veg, reheat soup or even cook porridge. It's quick, cheap and less washing up. And of course there is the modern favourite, the air fryer. What started off as a fad is now a household staple for many people. They heat up instantly, cook small portions of food quickly and use a fraction of the power of a full oven. Perfect if you want chips, or fries as they're called in America, or a couple of chicken breasts cooking without having to fire up the whole of the oven. And storage hacks can save you money and stop your food spoiling too soon. Bananas, for instance, are the bad neighbours in the fruit bowl. They give off a gas that ripens everything else around them. So if you want your apples and pears to last longer, keep them separate from your bananas. However, if you've got a rock-hard avocado you want to ripen quickly, pop it next to a banana. Potatoes and onions are another dodgy pair. Store them together and they'll both spoil faster. If you keep them apart, they'll last a lot longer. And bread is a classic one. In the UK, we buy big loaves to save money, and very often we might not eat them all before they go stale and mouldy. So instead, buy sliced bread and freeze half of it. You can pull out just what you need, straight into the toaster, and you'll never throw away mouldy bread again. And if you have leftover fresh herbs, you can chop them up, freeze them in an ice cube tray, and they're great to add to soups, sauces or Sunday roasts for extra flavour. We have mentioned before on the channel that you can also freeze leftover wine in an ice cube tray, and at a later date put the cubes into soups and stews. But the general consensus from our viewers is what's leftover wine. When it comes to the date labels on our food, you're in charge. Best before is about quality and not safety. A carrot that looks wrinkly is still fine in a stew, and a soft apple will work perfectly in a crumble. The time to take notice is when a product says use by. That is when it could be potentially dangerous if you eat it after that date. And most importantly, trust your eyes and your nose, not just the food itself. If it looks unusual or smells odd, it should hit the bin. Line your veggie drawer or your salad drawer in the fridge with kitchen roll or a clean tea towel. It absorbs excess moisture, stopping fruit and veg from going slimy too quickly. Swap it weekly and your salad will last days longer. And are you reusing your boiled water? Don't pour away boiled water from vegetables or pasta. Let it cool down and use it to water your plants. If your bread's gone stale and you don't fancy it as toast, you can use the microwave to refresh it. Wrap it in a damp tea towel and microwave for 10 to 15 seconds. The steam created will add moisture to that bread and make it super tasty again. And do you have a soup bag in your freezer? Tossing in odd bits of clean vegetable peelings, herb stalks and chicken bones. When full, simmer it for stock instead of buying stock cubes. And rather than wasting money on cling film to cover the tops of leftover food in the kitchen, just use a plate. It's far better for the environment and a lot cheaper for you. Do you have any leftover coffee? You can soak porridge oats overnight in the fridge with the coffee, and the next day you get a really nice flavoured porridge. Add a little sugar and milk to taste and you've got the perfect latte breakfast. What other money-saving, frugal living things do you do in the kitchen? What do you do to save money and make sure you're using all your resources to the max? Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye for now.